I am an engineer full-time at Heathrow Airport, but part-time I do motivational speaking. Now, what I'll speak about first is the engineering part. Now, the thing is, the word engineering can get thrown around a lot of the times, and a lot of people don't really know what it was. So what I really want to sort of nail today first is your understanding of what an engineer does. To explain, let's go back in time. Let's go back in history, right? Let's say there was somebody who lived on one side of the river, but the shop so they can go buy all their food was on the other side of the river. And every day they'd have to walk like 5 miles up that way and then go to a bit where the river's a little bit more narrow. They'll jump across and they'll walk back down again to where they need to be. And then they'll do that every single day. Now that is a problem. That is a problem. All right. That's not something you want to do. So what an engineer would do in that situation, what would an engineer do in that situation? What do you guys think? Someone unmute themselves. What does an engineer do in that situation?
Build the bridge.
Exactly, they'll build the bridge. So they have a problem and they go and find a solution to that problem. And the way they do that is they use their understanding of the way the world works, and they'll use the bit of physics and a bit of maths, and they'll do some calculations and say, well, if I want to go from this side of the river to this side of the river, all I need to do is I need to build a bridge. In the same way, right now, well, I want to go from here to Al. What's the easiest way for me to go from here to Al? Well, walking, no, car. I could drive, but driving takes a long time. Before, driving was a great solution when you want to drive from one place to another. But as technology advances, what can you do? What did an engineer create?
Fly.
Exactly, you can
Airplanes.
fly, so you can design planes that can fly. So wherever you look in society, you're going to find problems. You're going to find things that we can do in a better way. And what an engineer does is an engineer uses their understanding of the world. They use their understanding of the physics and the way the world works to be able to solve problems. That is what all engineers do. And I work at Heathrow Airport. Who's flown out of Heathrow Airport? If you have, let me know in the chat, or put your hand up or unmute yourself, say, yeah, it was me. You know, I know we haven't all been there for a while, but, you know, I'm sure a lot of you have flown out of Heathrow Airport. And when you're at the airport, my job is to get you from your car or your taxi or your train or however you arrive to the airport. My job is to make sure that you go through the airport in the most efficient way possible, get on the plane and then take off, and then you go again. So I studied aerospace engineering, which means I studied how a plane flies. But for my job, I actually look after the airport itself. So my job is to make sure that everything in the airport, all the problems that could have happened in the airport, go smoothly, so that I make sure that you have the best experience possible. And to give you an example of one of the problems that I've solved at Heathrow Airport, I'm going to show you a little video. And the video is only 3 minutes long, but it will show you what an engineer does and how an engineer has to use their mind to solve a problem. Now, when we all go to the airport and we have our bags and we give them to the person at the check-in desk, and then they just disappear, right? We don't really see them. The only time we see them is when they go through to the other side and we arrive to our destination and our bag just appears out of magic, right? But there's a whole process that takes place, and there's a lot of very smart engineering that takes place to make sure that your bag can go through the system and then get on the plane. And this little video, and I will show you this video right now. All right, let me try this out. Give me a second. Bear with me.
It's here that trainee engineer Mo
Can you hear the sound?
an issue that's
Yeah.
detrimental to departure times.
Right now we're in Terminal 2 and we are literally directly underneath check-in. Now if you check your bag and it literally disappears behind a curtain, that curtain leads to a hoist. The hoist brings the bags down and it spits them out onto what we call a collector belt. When a bag is approaching an x-ray, if it's stood upright, then it won't fit through the x-ray machine, so that sends off an alarm. Someone has to come down, push it over, and then it goes through the x-ray machine. That wastes precious minutes.
To remedy the problem, Heathrow installed a piece of kit under the conveyor belts, aptly named a baggage toppler.
So as the bags get checked in and they swing round here, they encounter this speed bump. It just gives it that rocking motion, and that rocking motion will tip it over.
Despite doing what it says on the tin, this toppler has only been 75% effective, and Mo thinks he has a solution to get that percentage up to 100.
If you take a closer look, you'll see that it's not actually sharp on the top. I thought to myself, you know what, I think that is what is making all the difference. So I went back to the drawing board, I redesigned it, and now, hopefully, it is much more effective than this one here. This is the old one, it's got a flat top, but this one is just that little bit higher and it's got a round top here. And that little tiny difference is what can literally be the difference between a bag making it onto the flight and not making it onto the flight.
Mo's new design, Baggage Toppler 2.0, may not look all that different to the original one, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and first the pudding needs to be put together.
Out with the old, in with the new.
To make a successful toppler, you will need the following ingredients: 50 kilograms of hard metal, 2 handymen,
How you doing, you alright? Yeah, good.
and a dash of enthusiasm.
I'm absolutely buzzing, I'm so excited.
The first step is to prepare your base by removing any excess waste.
HA1, no way. I live in HA0, it's basically my neighbor.
Step 2, add your metal to the mix. Step 3, dish out a good dollop of drilling. And step 4, allow it to settle until it reaches room temperature or is cool to the touch.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we're in Heathrow Airport and my design is inside the system. It's unbelievable. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to grab a few of these test bags, we're going to put them on the system, and then we're going to see if the toppler does what it says on the tin. The maths adds up. I trust maths. So,
If Baggage Toppler 2.0 fails this test, it'll be back to the drawing board for Mo.
I'm confident. I'm confident it will fly over. Moment of truth. All right, here it comes.
The first one was a fluke.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. There you go. Perfect, perfect.
It looks like Baggage Toppler 2.0 is here to stay.
This one so far is doing 100%. That's more bags on planes. That's more happy passengers. I'm so happy. I can't wait to put this in every terminal now. In the world. In the world. Every airport will know.
All right, so there we go. That was how I redesigned part of the Heathrow baggage system to solve a very specific problem. Again, we had a problem. The bags weren't going through the X-ray machine because they were stood upright. I redesigned something using my understanding of maths and physics to push it over, and now we have solved the problem. Now that's my sort of engineering side. That's what I like to do in my day-to-day. But the thing is that once I was told something that stuck with me. They said that God has given each of us more than one talent. We don't all just have one talent. We have more than one talent. And for me, one of my talents is problem solving. I love to solve problems. But the other thing that I've been told that I'm good at is I'm good at speaking to inspire people to do more, be more, and to go out there and be their best selves. So one thing that I want to do as part of my life full-time one day, and currently I do it part-time, is to be a motivational speaker. And being a motivational speaker is when you go and you speak to people and you make them sort of get fired up to sort of go get the best out of life. And that's something I really enjoy doing. Yesterday I was in the Excel Arena in London near O2, and there was a crowd full of like hundreds of people where I was there giving them a motivational speech, inspiring them. And there were so many, young kids and parents that came up to me afterwards, just saying how inspired they felt. And that's something that I love to do. So yes, being an engineer is what I'm doing currently. But one thing that I've heard throughout as well, this presentation, especially with the author, she said that just because you're an author doesn't mean you can't do something else. And it's the same with motivational speaking. Just because you want to be a motivational speaker doesn't mean you have to start off being a motivational speaker. You can do a whole range of things and then have motivational speaking as a side element, and then potentially one day do that full time. So I hope I've been able to show you a bit of both worlds. Hopefully the video brought to life what engineering means. Hopefully I've been able to bring to life what motivational speaking means as well.